Hello friends, and welcome to the video. So here we're going to look again at this masterpiece by T.S. Eliot, the Four Quartets, and take a kind of non-dual look at it. I've done 2 videos so far about different parts of it, but here we're going to look at the conclusion. It's very beautiful. It begins, "We shall not cease from exploration." And this, we shall not cease, we hear this in Nisargadatta Maharaj, I am that we have to be earnest in our search, in our self-inquiry, in this investigation into what we really are. You are not what you take yourself to be. And John Klein also says this, we have to be earnest, we have to be sincere in this. We shall not cease from exploration, and the end of all our exploring will be to arrive where we started and know the place for the first time. So despite this idea that we're going to search, we're going to make an effort, be earnest in finding this truth, our ultimate realization is here. We discover our true self at this present moment, but we discover it, we see it with new eyes. Not as when we began the journey, when we were all tied up in the world and misidentifying ourselves and full of fear and fragmentation, separation. We find this wholeness, and it's here just where we started. We didn't go anywhere, but an effort was made. Through the unknown remembered gate. Now, the unknown, the only way we can go is through finding this thing that cannot be known, because anything that's known is an object. So we must find out what we're not. And I used to tell people about this, friends, before I met students actually, before I started making the videos, but nobody was interested, especially not the students who were paying to learn English. But sometimes my friends were receptive, and this line, the remembered gate, it's something that some people told me that it was like they kind of knew it. They liked the idea, and they kind of felt that there was something that they thought when they were young, in their childhood, and it brings them back to that. And that was my experience as well. This is what we overlook. That's here and now. When the last of earth left to discover is that which was the beginning. So we look under this stone, under that stone, what am I, what am I? And the last thing that we look in the world first, and then we look at the body, and we look at the mind, and we look at the self, the sense of I, this feeling of I am. And the last thing, that's the last thing. And here we go to under that, under the sense of I am, under this sense, this technically reflected consciousness, this feeling that I am aware, is the awareness that's there, that's watching that. And that is the last thing, it's the beginning. At the source of the longest river, the voice of the hidden waterfall. The river that Eliot's talking about, the longest river, is time, and this is a theme in Four Quartets. And we go out into time, we go out into the world looking for the answers, and we exhaust all of that. Well, first, before you come to spirituality, you try to find happiness in the external world, and things don't satisfy you. You might not have won the lottery and become the richest person in the world, but I don't think they're particularly happy either. The real source is the source of the river. It's you, it's here, it's the awareness, this hidden waterfall, the thing that can't be objectified. And the children in the apple tree, not known, because not looked for, but heard, half heard, in the stillness. Now, of course, we think of the Garden of Eden, Adam and Eve, the apple. So, and these would represent innocence before the fall of, we bit the apple and all that. But that is something that isn't something that's a myth. It is a myth, but I hope I didn't annoy anybody there. But it's something that we experience when we're young, we're innocent and open. And when we see young kids now, and they are innocent and open and they have this wonderful freshness and wonder for the world. And it's there before we put all these ideas, narratives, worries, expectations on top of all of that. And that's what we are, because you are that which is before thought. The thoughts are all there, but you are that which sees them. And that is the pure innocence that hasn't gone away. But it's not looked for. It's heard, but half heard in the stillness. So when we meditate or you abide in presence, you can go back to that is prior to all this, and that is still there. It's not something that you lost. It's that ground which everything arises out of. It's what you are here now, with all these ideas appearing in front of you. But heard, half heard in the stillness between two waves of the sea. So these two waves, the past and the future, these between the two moments, between two thoughts, that's thing that's there underneath, that is underneath all states, between all thoughts and underneath all thoughts. There is sound, and then there's silence, the absence of sound, but then there's a deeper silence which is underneath both the sound and the silence, and that's always there. Quick now, here, now, always. It's here, quick, watch. Don't let it pass. It's always here, now, fresh, in the moment. It's as soon as you try to hold it, you think it's gone, but no, it's there. It's always renewed, every moment fresh and new. Why, I think John Klein said, when you look at a rose, why make the rose old? Why put it in time? It's here, fresh and before you, always new and always fresh. A condition of complete simplicity, costing not less than everything. So this simplicity, what does it cost us? Well, we let go of the mind, the body, we let go of the narrative, the ideas, the concepts, and even these ideas of enlightenment, of, peak experiences, mystical experiences, to get to the thing that's beneath thought, that's beyond thought, which is what is there, what's here. You make the ultimate sacrifices. Don't have to sacrifice yourself literally, but yeah, you die to yourself. You let go of the self, you let go of the body, the mind, all your hopes, desires, and it's there. This complete simplicity, nothing more simple, nothing more perfect than this awareness that you are. And all shall be well, and all manner of things shall be well. So this is very special for me. It's from Julianne of Norwich. My mum was actually a nun for 18 years before she had me, and she always told me to pray. And in my family, we didn't have all this idea of sin, and it was all, my mum would tell me pray and, put it in the hands of God and Jesus, and everything will be well, and all manner of things will be well. She used to say this. And yesterday was the second anniversary of my mum's death. I visited her the last weekend, and I was lucky to be there, but I had to go back, unfortunately. She died the next day. But she was unable to talk. She was in bed, but I'd seen her the last time I was able to communicate really properly with her, speaking, although she was aware of me at the end, was at Christmas, and it was very dark. There was no light in England, and there was something wrong. We didn't know what was wrong. We didn't know she had cancer, but something was really wrong. And when I had to leave, I had to go back to England, and she was always sad when I would leave. I would always visit Christmas and summer, and I was saying goodbye, and she had Alzheimer's at the end. She, not completely, but she couldn't remember a lot of things, but she knew who I was, and even at the very last moment, last weekend. And she saw that I was distressed, because I didn't think that I would see her again. And she just said, don't worry, everything's going to be okay. And this is what Julian of Norwich was saying, despite this, all the bad things, all the evil, that everything is going to be okay. God is got it all under control. And she did teach that she was a mystic, and she had these visions of Jesus, and she knew that the church didn't. The church had this teaching of sin and, of course, lots of morality. And so she knew that these were two kind of opposing ideas, and she admitted that. But in her visions, she saw that Jesus told her, all shall be well, and all manner of things shall be well. The next lines, when the tongues of flame are enfolded into the crowned knot of fire, and the fire and the rose are one. So the tongues of flame, Eliot was a Christian. We have Pentecost, the Holy Spirit. The disciples were all very worried. Jesus had died. They didn't know what had happened. And the Holy Spirit came down, and they all got these powers to speak in tongues. And the Holy Spirit was described as tongues of fire. But different people, separation, different languages they were able to speak. It's all this division. And here we see the tongues of flame are enfolded. They become one. This separation between us is transcended into the crowned knot of fire. The crown, of course, it's a circle. And all of this is about the beginning is the end is the beginning, coming back to the beginning and finding it anew. So there's this circle of the crown, of course, the suffering, the pain, the crown of thorns of Jesus was crucified, but also the crown of victory. It's all those things, the knot of fire, the fire. And in the very end, we have these two opposing, opposites, fire and the rose. That fire, pain, but also purifying, and the rose, the hope. In the beginning of the poem that we looked at in the other video, we saw the rose garden, these places where these memories, these hopes are, and when all of those two extremes come together and are one. And that is, of course, I would say it's a non-dual thing. The unity, the oneness, the one without a second, this final realization that all this pain and joy and hope, and it's all found in this one, in this present moment, and it's discovered anew, and it's discovered fresh, but it's remembered. It's something that is always there. It's always been here, and this journey, this thing that we're earnest, have to be earnest in our exploration and not cease. We find it brings us back to here and brings us back to now, but we see it with new eyes. I'll read the last bit again. At the source of the longest river, the voice of the hidden waterfall, and the children in the apple tree, not known because not looked for, but heard, half heard, in the stillness, between two waves of the sea. Quick now, here, now, always, a condition of complete simplicity, costing not less than everything. And all shall be well, and all manner of things shall be well. when the tongues of flame are enfolded into the crowned knot of fire, and the fire and the rose are one. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.